Yorgos Lanthimos, back at it again with the 3-movie-in-1 feature film. I need to collect my emotional stance. Last Friday, Kinds of Kindness came out at a select theater near me. It actually came out on Thursday, so I went to go see it on Thursday. It's been a minute since I left a film feeling genuinely confused. Well, it's been since Thursday. Obviously, we don't know what we're getting into when we dive into the world of Yorgos Lanthimos. God damn. Something about Kinds of Kindness was mean as hell. And let me just say, I saw it again on Saturday. I wanted to have a little bit more insight before I came to you guys with a video like this. There's not even much that I can say. Let me just tell you what the movie's about. This movie is about 3 different separate stories. At least I think they're separate. The first is about a man trying to take control of his life. The second is about a policeman whose wife goes missing, but then she comes back and he believes that isn't his wife. And the third little story is about a duo trying to look for a woman with a special ability. Now, I'm not going to spoil it too much, but spoiler alert! Yorgos Lanthimos does movies differently. He tells stories differently. And to be honest, it is not for the general community. There's a lot of stuff that's gonna go over a lot of people's heads, and I hate to say, being a movie connoisseur, that I'm one of them. This one boggled me up the most. Whew, hot damn. But you know what? This movie got 75% Rotten Tomatoes, and I myself rated it a 4 out of 5 on Letterboxd. I was entertained. I enjoyed myself. I laughed. I giggled. I teared up. I felt a lot of feelings, and I definitely felt uncomfortable. I actually don't think I felt comfortable. So let's talk about this movie and the way that it was portrayed. Because after every short film, the credits rolled, and then we got the next one. Different names, different plot, different setting. So first, RMF is dead. The only way that I can explain this is if you imagine a Nepo baby, and it is the firstborn, and they have an extremely successful father. The father has a lot of money and a lot of power and is pretty evil. The Nepo baby knows that the dad is evil, but they just keep doing whatever they can to gain acceptance from their father. Until the father takes it too far and they're like, you know what? No, dad. No, I can't do that. Sorry, no. I'll do anything else, but no, not that. And the dad says, you know what? Snip, snip, bitch. You're not a part of this family anymore. The child, the Nepo baby, realized just how much the father was intertwined in their life because the fathers excommunicated them from the family as a whole. So the kid tries to come crawling back to the dad. And the only way they can get their foot in the door is doing exactly what they didn't want to do. They lost themselves inevitably again. And to be honest, when I break it down to you like that, it's fun, but it's deeper than that. It's about acceptance. It's about kin kindness, for sure. It's about mutualism, yeah, which are types of kindnesses. Each short film was exactly the length that it needed to be. This movie was a 2-hour, 44-minute runtime, but each section was exactly the length that it needed to be. I can say the people in front of me and in front of them and in front of them, when the credits rolled, they were like, the level of discomfort Yorgos makes you feel in his storytelling, in his directing, in his writing, kind of I like it, actually. Even with Poor Things, I was pretty uncomfortable and I liked it. That's not kind. RMF is flying. This is where the absurdism really comes into play. Okay, we're in a new setting. This short film felt alien apocalyptic in a way. Between Daniel and Liz, it just traded off between who was the craziest until they were both literally just out of their mind. And in the end, nothing about this movie makes sense by speaking about the plot of this movie. And if I'm going to be honest with you, I don't even know how the hell this movie was pitched. It got a $15 million budget, which is like not low budget, but it's not a huge budget. Obviously, Poor Things was a big success last year, but I also just know that unless you're really vetted into Hollywood, you're not getting granted $15 million to make this movie. Now, you should watch it. I'm not saying you shouldn't watch it. I'm just saying, how the hell do you explain this to someone? And Yorgos and Efthimis the writers, what the hell is going on in your mind? I'm not saying I'm not into it. I'm actually a little bit inspired by the crazy. RMF Eats a Sandwich. Now, if you needed to know what that title means, I can't deliver that answer for you. I would have watched in a video explaining, but I didn't want any of that to taint what I have to say about my feelings after spending almost 6 hours of watch time with this movie. But leave a comment if you know what that means in RMF. What even the fuck is RMF? All I can really tell you was that in part 1, RF was the initials of Robert Fanning, or Rita Fanning and Robert Fletcher. It was something like that. I wrote it down in my notes the second watch. And then there was Raymond, but I don't remember what his last name was. But that doesn't even matter because Willem Dafoe is somebody different and RMF is eating a sandwich. So this one was my favorite because I love cult TV. I love documentaries. I love anything about cults. The way the story unfolds around why Emma Stone's character, which I also want to say, Joe Alwyn was playing her husband and his name was Joseph, and she was playing Emily and her name was Emma, but I think her real name is Emily. I think her real name's Emily. So I thought that was very cool. And I could even see that we got like a darker side of each of them. Now, I don't want to speak on Joe Alwyn's character because he was actually treacherous. And I don't want to compare that to the real him. I don't know that man. This story, just like anything dealing with cults, it got dark and then it got darker. The thing about cult TV is because we're so far removed from whatever's going on in that person's head, it's hard to reason with them. It's hard to be like, why wouldn't you go back to your family? But then you see what happens when she does go back to the family. And then it's just like, I want to tell you, but I don't want to tell you because, like, one, I'm not going to make the most sense. And two, it's just worth a watch. I literally can't even explain it to you, and I watched it twice. So that's how I do not know how they pitched this movie to a studio. I like, genuinely, I would love a session on it, and I'd be willing to pay. Each section had a beginning, middle, and end. There was a peak 3 different times, and there was so much kind of getting close to characters, kind of understanding their situation before it was quite literally over and we see them again as someone else. It's almost as if we saw different universes playing out. Another thing that I liked about this movie was the fact that both times that I saw it, the theater was pretty packed. So we laughed together, we squirmed together, we gasped together. That was fun. Watching this film alone, it'll definitely be a different experience, and oh my god, I'm tweaking thinking about it. There's stuff about this movie that I don't get. There's stuff about this movie that I won't get. But there's stuff about this movie that I actually really liked. I was very entertained. I couldn't take my eyes away. It's just not like anything I've ever seen. And you know what? Maybe that's why Hollywood said yes. They said, Yorgos knows how to bring in the big bucks. We trust him. We don't know what he's talking about. Let's give him the stage for a second. So it's a little mean that you don't know what's going on. But I do think each kind of kindness was displayed. Maybe that's where the title comes into play. It's just a movie. It's about acceptance. It's about gluttony. Control. It's about losing control. It's about so many things that we experience in real life on X mode. This is like the most extreme level that you could see it. It's something to be grateful about because if you were ever down that bad in any of those situations, that's bad, but it's only up from there. And if you're not that down bad, good for you because that's... Watch Kinds of Kindness, form your own opinions, like, share, comment if you liked anything you saw. A Quiet Place, I am going to see tomorrow at the fan event, so you know, next Sunday, we're coming at ya with The Quiet Place, and I can't wait to watch The Quiet Place and talk about it.